There we go, and I take it first. To dissolve or not to dissolve Parliament is the latest subject of debate in the country. And by the way, suppose the President heeded to Chief Justice David Maraga's advice and dissolved the 12th Parliament, how many of you would re-elect their current lawmakers? Well, I'm not sure I would re-elect mine. Anyway, that is a story for another day. But you see, the latest debate brings to what I consider the contradiction that is our country. Every so often, you will hear one politician whipping and charging their supporters to reject the Building Bridges Initiative report, while another will be preaching to us the good things in that report. But where is the report? What are you asking us to support or reject? What has stopped President Uhuru Kenyatta from receiving the report that the task force told us was ready in June? Or maybe making public the document was not a priority after all. Mahatma Gandhi tells us aptly that action expresses priorities. The Maraga bombshell on Monday reminds us yet again of the need to candidly, carefully, openly and exhaustively audit the 2010 Constitution and identify what needs to be changed, fine-tuned, or deleted altogether. I remember 10 years ago, the slogan was, "Let us pass the document as was and correct the 20% that had issues later." I don't know how the problematic part of the Constitution was calculated and settled down at 20% and an 80% score for the non-contested portion of the document. But while the raging debate on amending the Constitution has largely focused on the system of government and a clamor for expanding the executive, I dare say there probably are key issues that require more attention. This is where I concur with Stephen Covey, the late American educator and keynote speaker, when he said most of us spend too much time on what is urgent and not enough time on what is important. For example, shouldn't the debate be more about improving the electoral system to ensure that your vote at the ballot counts? Why not straighten the seemingly loose ends in providing a clear formula of achieving the gender equity principle provided for in the Constitution? Why not panel beat the provisions that dictate the relationship between the judiciary and the executive and deal with the ugly fallout between the President and the Chief Justice that we have witnessed every so often? Why not prioritize a discourse on clear mechanisms of availing sufficient resources to county governments and at the right time to realize the dream of devolution as envisioned by the drafters of the 2010 Constitution? Hopefully, in the coming weeks, the BBI report will be made public for Kenyans to actively and openly engage on the content. Hopefully, it will contain plausible prescriptions to challenges that afflict Kenyans on a daily basis, recommendations on improved governance, solutions to runaway graft in the national and county governments, and ultimately, a roadmap to a more equitable and cohesive nation. Those, in my opinion, are the vital issues because Darlene Oaks, the American jurist and religious leader, tells us, desires dictate our priorities. Priorities shape our choices, and our choices determine our actions. That's my punchline.